What might the future sound like? That was the question we asked ourselves 5 years ago in the Foresight graduate program at CENTRO, a higher education institution focused on creativity and located in Mexico City. To answer this question, students collaborate with two teachers, Enrique Urbina, head of the Sci-Fi Scenarios class, and Leonardo Santiago, sound producer and head of the Futures Soundscapes Lab. This presentation aims to share with you this educational experience that happens on a broader program and involves the skills of creativity, storytelling, anticipatory thinking, and sound production to elaborate future scenarios delivered like soundscapes. Here you can have a glimpse of the purpose of the future studies field. And here you can check the purpose of the Futures Soundscapes Lab specifically. Now, I'm gonna share with you one example. The story refers to a possible future in Mexico City. This soundscape was created by one of our students, and I'm gonna share the translation of the dialogue because it's in Spanish, so you can follow the story, okay? For those attending the conference online, I suggest using, I suggest using headphones to better appreciate the different sound layers. For those attending the auditorium, I will share the whole collection of soundscapes with you so you can explore it later, okay? So. Can you hear now?
Buenos días, Gabriela. Hoy es quincena y estarás recibiendo 200,000 pesos de tu ingreso básico universal. Como acordamos, estarás invirtiendo un 40% en tu retiro, 20% en tu departamento en la playa, 10% para tu viaje del próximo año y el resto se va a tu cuenta corriente de gastos. ¿Quieres modificar algo? Nueva meta creada. Has destinado un 10% de inversión para tu doctorado en el 2045. Felicidades por invertir en tu aprendizaje. El resto de tus metas llevan un rendimiento positivo. A este ritmo concluirás tu meta del departamento un año antes. ¿Quieres una selfie de este momento para compartir con tus amigos? Hasta luego.
Okay. So of course, you know better than me what is a soundscape. I'm recalling the concept from Michael Southworth. And of course, we know that it became popular thanks to Murray Schafer in the 70s. It refers to a sound fragment of everyday reality recorded for analysis. For Schafer, the human world is a symphony of sounds, and a soundscape is a fragment of that broader symphony that narrates a chain of specific events. Thus, a future soundscape is a narrative of archived or especially recorded everyday sounds presenting a long-term scenario in a given context. Well, this is the theoretical framework of the lab's model. As you can see, we consider Schafer's theory, Tarakanov's sonor concept as a unique unit of meaning, Blicker's design fiction concept, and Candy and Donegan experiential futures model. These components help students expand their repertoire of tools to present a long-term scenario and for listeners to experience a more fluid and tangible time travel. What has changed and how did it change? These are questions that students must ask themselves during the process. It is not just an act of creation, but of designing a plausible story with ordinary sounds, including noises, dialogues, and music. The attendants perform these steps to explore, understand, and experience change. So far, students from 5 cohorts have produced 35 soundscapes, which you will find in a QR code that I'm going to share with you in a moment. For some students, it is easier than for others because writing a sci-fi story, translating it into a script, and learning to record and edit sounds can be challenging. Some of the students already have experience in storytelling or acoustic design or both. Still, for others, the experience is new and frustrating because of that. We have noticed that it is challenging as well to get rid of the stereotypes to design future environments. Many soundscapes include laser sounds, intelligent speakers, as the example that I showed to you a moment ago, robots-like sounds, and so on. It is also hard to build a scenario that recovers the local experience, avoiding a flat and universal representation of reality. That's why we encourage students to create soundscapes that consider the experience of their local realities. We notice patterns when we check the main topics in the sound pieces. These soundscapes express desires and fears, concerns about the impact of technology on human life, but also about other risks, such as pollution, social and economic crisis, aging, death, among other topics. Now I'm going to show you dependent tasks of this project because we are trying to improve it, the model each year. So in the next iteration, we are trying to improve some aspects. So we want, sorry?
I don't know if you see in the chat. We're not seeing. We're hearing your sound. We're not seeing.
Thanks for letting me know. I'm really sorry. Wait a second, please. So there you go. Here you have the workshop steps. So we are going from the acoustic design to designing a soundscape and sharing the soundscape in a seminar format, and then recalling the feedback. Here you are going to find the main topics of the 35 soundscapes. As I told you a moment ago, we have now a collection of 35 soundscapes from 5 cohorts. And you can see this is a picture of the different concerns about the future in a way. So in my opinion, this is not only interesting because the educational experience, but because these are ethnographic materials in a way that are speaking about the concerns, about the fears, and about the desires in a specific context. And here we have dependent tasks. So as I told you a moment ago, we are trying to improve every year the model. So now we are working in achieving more fluid soundscapes and a more fluid process. We're trying to improve the quality of the soundscape. So maybe in the near future, our students can conquer an award maybe. And we are trying as well to evaluate not only the performance of the students, but the impact of these soundscapes in the audiences. Because the point is to make easier the immersion so you can understand the future that every soundscape is suggesting. And as I told you a moment ago, we are trying to study these soundscapes not only as a acoustic design product, but ethnographic evidence. And finally, we're trying to replicate the model in other contexts. So here you are going to find the collection of the 35 soundscapes. And as well, in a moment, I'm going to share with you a paper that we recently published about this experience, so you can get further information, not only about the process, but about the framework and about the scope that we are trying to get. Here you are going to find the paper. The paper is in press for the Journal of Future Studies. And finally, here you're going to have all my data. I really appreciate the gesture of letting me know that I wasn't sharing anything. And if you have any question, I'm going to be happy to know about it. Thank you very much.
Do we have any questions here? And if you do, just come up and ask them. Okay, come up and ask.
Hello, how are you? Hi, my name is Amanda. I'm familiar with CENTRO because several of my friends have worked in CENTRO, so I know a little bit more about the background and the students, kind of like the frame of the students who attend. So I have a question about the possibilities of integrating and diversifying the voices that you are presenting in this project. So as a private institution, how CENTRO resolve the class gap, especially to invite or to include the voices and perspectives of students who are part of a working class background who cannot afford to pay for CENTRO, because I know CENTRO is a private institution and it's quite expensive to kind of like be part of the, as a student, be part of the school. So how do you think that integration into the soundscapes can be resolved? You've been thinking as research or as a center of listening and imagining the future, how these voices of can be integrated, or these imaginations and fictions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Amanda, for your question. Well, I think we try to solve this gap in two ways, at least. First, we are a private institution, as you said, but we are aligned with the Ministry of Education, and because of that, we have scholarships as any other institution, even though we are private. So we have scholarships, and I must say, in my program, 90% of the students has a kind of benefit, maybe not a total scholarship. I have a couple of students with a full scholarship, and we have the support of specific think tanks, future think tanks that help us to reduce this gap. That's one pathway, and the other pathway, we try the main point, I think, of future studies is not only to thinking about the future, but to thinking about the future in a democratic way. So all the time we try to not only to achieve visions of the future, but democratic visions of the future, decolonized visions about the future. So we tried this in every class, and specifically in the soundscapes, we encourage our students not only to think about the future about like a flat vision. We try we encourage them to develop local visions that consider everybody, not in a romantic way, but in a realistic way. So I have these answers. We have scholarships and we have methodologies that encourage our students to consider those differences in order to think about the best ways to reduce those differences.